Happy
Yes,
Sunday.
yes. Are here. We are here.
Yes,
Hey,
blessed Sunday.
welcome, live streamers on Facebook. Today, we, lovely Lauren and I, are talking with beautiful Shante Kumar about
Yes.
the personal money frequency. And this is really about expanding your capacity to receive. I love that. Receiving all the good things that we want, right? And
Mhm.
so, Shante Kumar, she's an expert in helping nurses and healthcare professionals beat burnout and restore vitality. And our core themes at CFP are courage, worthiness, energy, prosperity, and self liberation. You know, we're all about that. We explore emotional freedom, self leadership, and the courage to live a life aligned with our own authenticity.
Mm,
Yes.
amen.
So before we start, I want to ask the audience, you all listening live and in the replay, how much money would light you up? Not overwhelm you, not feel guilty, but just the right level. That's the question I really want you to think about and post it in the comments. If you're responding live, it's sometimes difficult for us to respond live, but we will get to your responses after the fact.
That's a powerful question, Dr. Gigi, because what we've talked about a little bit, but still often don't reflect on, is that our nervous system only allows us like a certain amount in our head, I think. Um, what are we worthy of? What could we handle? Who would come after it? All of the things. But I'll never say that I don't want to. Don't want to win the lottery. I'll say that.
Right?
I gotta play, but also
Yeah, we got to play to win.
you gotta play to win. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we oftentimes will hold ourselves back from what we think we deserve, or
hmm
gaslight ourselves in believing we're not worthy.
hmm
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and so I'm really excited, to have Shante Kumar here. She's a health coach, and that's exactly why we invited her on because she firsthand understands as a nurse, what burnout can look like, what having the right level of energy, and really sometimes energy is more than attitude. It's about setting your mind, body, spirit up,
Yeah.
to, have the level of success that you believe you are worthy of.
Hmm.
And so, Shantae, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, hello, hello. Thank you so much, lovely ladies, for having me. For those of you who don't know, my background has been in psychiatric nursing, so psychiatric nurse for nursing for about the last 20 years, and then I became a life coach, Kundalini yoga trainer, sound healing certific technician, do EFT, all sorts of different energy healing modalities. And the reason I did all that is because much of what you were saying, I experienced myself, some burnout and the realms of feeling extremely overwhelmed, physical fatigue despite going on vacations and having time off. And, really it was the emotional disconnect that really started to become, an issue for me, and feelings of some depression and anxiety, which are normal feelings, right? And emotions, but they started to become more frequent than normal for me and more intense than normal for me. So I knew something needed to change. And so, because I was showing up, working for everyone, doing all of the things all the time, I was putting out a lot of energy and effort into the world, but not into myself, right? I was drained on all levels. And I was doing all this work and expending all this energy, but my income level also didn't reflect the energy that I was pouring out. And, at first I'm thinking, okay, well, then I need to work harder, right? Or maybe I need a new position. I need to get another certification or another license or, something else. I need to get a side hustle, right? I need to make this work. But what I eventually realized is that my money ceiling wasn't out there. in the world. It was an energetic ceiling. And to your point, when you mentioned earlier that, it's the level that we feel worthy of accepting, I feel that a lot of us think mentally, oh, I'm worthy of money, right? I deserve money, right? And we think that, and we do believe it. But the concern of the issue is that we start to, like you said, have different energetic responses to the amounts of money. And even though we know we deserve money, we deserve to live, we may feel we deserve to be here on this earth, we deserve to survive and have good things. How much of that we allow is variable. And, it can change based on honestly what you're doing in your life and your life pattern. So if you are used to making X amount of dollars and then you lose your job, you know through your knowledge and your experience, like, oh, I'm worth this amount of money because this is how much I've made, but now you're not getting it, so you start to doubt that it can happen, that it'll come again. So how much money you actually will allow can actually decrease based on your financial situation as well. And it was during a visualization that I was doing with one of my coaches that I noticed something. She had us I identify a certain amount of money and start to visualize what it meant for us. And when I had that first amount of money, it felt good. I felt relaxed and peaceful about it. It felt kind of normal for me. Um, and then when I decided, well, that's nice, but it didn't really light me up. I didn't have a visceral, energetic, emotional response to that amount. Um, but then when I went too much higher than that amount, it got stressful. It got to feel like it was like, ugh, almost, like my body rejected
Mhm.
me even having the thought that that was possible. I actually had that, yeah, right, knee-jerk reaction. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, wow, that's came out of nowhere. It kind of caught me off guard. And then I was like, well, okay, well, then this amount, it was okay, but it really didn't light me up. And this amount was too much. It felt like it was unattainable and unreasonable and unrealistic. So my
Mm.
body just was like, It automatically rejected that thought from even being able to take root in my brain. So I had to
Wow.
recognize, right, that it was a huge, huge enlightening moment for me because that's when it showed me that money really isn't just numbers. It really is an emotional, energetic frequency that you have a knee-jerk reaction to. And that's how I came to define what I consider your personal money frequency. It's the amount of money that feels really good to you and it feels expansive, but not impossible, right? And it's a number that allows you to stretch a little bit and it invites growth, but it still feels believable, attainable, and safe to your nervous system. So it's okay to imagine. And when you find that personal money frequency and you begin to align yourself with it, it actually starts to shift your whole energy field because this is what I personally discovered that when I stopped seeing money as a survival mechanism and started
Right.
seeing it as my support, my
Mm.
frequency shifted. And it's when I saw it as like, wow, this feels so good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll just share my amounts with you because I have no problem with that. Working as a nurse in my past, I easily made, $100,000, $150,000 a year. No problem. So when the amount was $100,000, I could sit with that. I've made that before, it wasn't a big deal. Now, if I went to $500,000, that was way too much for me. It just felt like, whoa, I don't even know how that would come about. I got stuck just on the amount. But when I brought it down to 200,000, that felt amazing. Like
Oh,
Mm.
just
wow.
even imagining receiving that. Imagine just waking up, going to your bank account, and there's that amount of money. No one had to die. No one had to lose anything. The market didn't crash and nothing like that. It really was just a big gift and boon from the universe that says, boom, plopped here in your lap. It's all yours, free and clear. Right. And when I had that amount, that's when it felt so good, because that amount felt, it was like more than I expected from the universe, right? It was more than I've received in the past. And it felt like it was a giant gift. It felt, that's how I could be grateful for it, because like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. Oh wow, oh my gosh, what an amazing blessing. What a bountiful gift. What, right? And when you have that feeling of
Mm.
energetic gratitude around the amount that that you find for yourself, and you can sit in it, and you don't imagine yourself spending it. That's a big thing too. Otherwise, you get into the energy of spending that amount of money, not having and receiving that amount of money, two very different energies. And
Mm.
so when you're right, because yeah, when you're, you can always think of, oh, I could spin this and I could spin that and I can spin that. And then what are you doing? You're setting yourself up to ask the universe for money for you to spend. And then you get excited.
Oh,
Oh, I
and you
get to
get more
pay off this
opportunity to
bill.
spend.
Right? Yeah. And you're like, oh, yeah,
Okay.
I get to pay off this money. Oh, yeah, I mean, pay off this bill and I could pay off that bill. And you feel really good paying off this bill. So what do you get? You get more bills. So you can keep feeling good about paying off the bills.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay.
right. But
Yeah.
when you're sitting in the receiving of and having of, and just enjoying the having and the being of the person that can sit in the bounty of it, that is when you're sitting in the gratitude and sitting with your personal money frequency. Otherwise, you're sitting with the frequency of spending that money. And that's a very different frequency. And many people, when they think of having money, they often think of what it'd be like to spend that money. If they had $1 million, they don't think of sitting with $1 million. They think of, ooh, all the things that they can buy with $1 million, all the things they could spend $1 million on. And ultimately, we're all millionaires. If you work at a job for, 10 years, you're making $10,000, I mean, yeah, $100,000 a year, you're going to be a millionaire. So you're going to end up spending $1 million, aren't you?
Okay.
See, it's right. It's being aware
How
of
you
how
look
your
at it.
mind is working and how your energy frequency is
Wow.
working with all of that. Because it's
Okay.
not complex, but there are so many moving pieces. And so when you can start to just sit with the energy and the frequency of having and receiving and enjoying the reception of the money, and
Hmm.
that amount feels really good. And it feels like so juicy, and it just feels like the universe just loves you. And it's a giant blanket of just warmth and support and security, right? And joy. And just like, oh my God, yes, I feel the love and all the feels and the butterflies. When you get that in you and you can
Yeah.
sit in that, that is when the money starts to flow. Because that is what it's waiting for. It's waiting for you to say, it's already here and I don't have to stress. I don't have to worry. God already knows, the universe knows, and is giving it to me an overabundant flow, more than I can ever expect or to receive. And I can enjoy that, and I'm allowed that. And that is your personal money frequency. And
Amen.
it's important to know that, your money thoughts are very sneaky. They're insidious little things, because
Yeah.
it can be also generational, right? It can be
Yeah.
thoughts that aren't even your own. Like I was talking with a close family member, and we were talking about money. And, she said something like, as long as I have enough for my bills and a little bit extra, I'm okay. And I realized she'd been saying that for years. As long as I have enough for my bills and a little extra, I'm okay. I'm okay. So that's what you're telling the universe. All
Hmm.
I need is enough for my bills and maybe a little extra.
Yeah.
Well, then that's all you get. That's all
So,
you're receiving. That's all you're expecting. That's all you're allowing. That's all she allowed herself to sit with. So I asked her, I said, well, what if you could get a little bit more? What if you had more than enough for your bills and extra? How would that be okay?
That
And
would be
she said,
fine.
I hadn't never really thought about it. I said, well, think about that. Think about it being okay to have more than just your bills taken care of. And now, a couple months later, after that conversation, she received a notice that she was receiving an increase in her Social Security. She also received some back pay because they should have given her this increase before. She's getting a back pay in her Social Security. And
Wow.
now not only are her bills paid, she's planning a what do you call it when you're on the water? A cruise.
A
She's going on a
cruise.
she hasn't had a cruise in years.
Fabulous.
Yes,
That's
right?
wonderful.
And all because this little simple shift, she started to ask herself, well, what if then I could have more than that? What would that be like for me? What would that feel like? What would that amount be? And it wasn't a huge, crazy, astronomical amount, but it was an amount that she could get into and feel good about and allowed her to start receiving more into her life and get to experience more in her life as well, right? And that's what it's all about. That really is what it's all about.
And I think that's a great example of what you're saying is like about us limiting our beliefs around what we deserve or what we can handle. And what I want to go back to too at the beginning is we talked about the emotional weight of burnout and
Mm-hmm.
how that can impact us energetically. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, many of us, especially healers, my mom is a nurse. She worked in psych nursing as well.
Mm.
Like I understand
Yes.
the experiences that you go through. I work in special education.
Mm.
So that in itself, there's so many of us that are we go into work and we look at each other like we chose this, right? We chose this we chose this for a reason. We give so much of ourselves, and then as caretakers, as healers, as helpers, we struggle to receive. So the idea of receiving it, it's weird to say like, I deserve this, like Gigi and I have these conversations. We have deep conversations all the time outside of this podcast, but really like where we learned the struggle is real. Like I have heard that so much my whole life that I believed it. I really did. And I believe what you were saying about family and history too, that really impacts us. I came from a grandfather who grew up in the Depression. So
Mm.
he, even though he made good money, he still like just hoarded it and saved it and always spent as if he was broke.
Mhm.
Which and then he didn't take it with him. He didn't take it
Yes.
with him, but he also didn't set it up to leave it behind because he worked for that money, so he wasn't gonna give it
Oh.
give it to the next, and just seeing how mindsets like that have been repeated and learned and passed down with like we're only allowed to have so much freedom financially, so much joy from being financially safe, like all of these things, when I am abundant, there will be signs. Mainly me with my passport. Much like your friend. But I think, like with the people pleasing, like you were saying, I don't want to come off as too greedy or be too much
Yes.
or whatever. And Gigi talks a lot about that in her book, The Boundary Badass. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's really interesting all the things that you're saying. I'm excited about this conversation.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, me too. And
I am. Oh, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. I was saying, and to your point, you're absolutely correct. As caregivers, especially, we have an innate empathetic part of us that automatically almost seeks resonance with others. And we tend to be fairly balanced within. And so it's almost like we are the great equalizer and balancer of life. And we go out and we find people or places or things where there's that imbalance. And we try to assist with bringing in more balance and health, right? And harmony
Yes.
into those situations. And then, unfortunately, what many of us don't know or recognize is that that is a beautiful part of us that needs to be replenished, and only we can do that for ourselves. And it feels almost like it's counterintuitive to focus on ourselves when we were given so much direction and we have such a pool to focus on others and to give out, right? But we
Mm,
forget that we have to be a part of the giving and the receiving and the balance of life. I was working with a woman who had cancer, and she was in a really bad place. And, she felt bad asking for family members for help. Like, she shouldn't do that. And she was used to being the one taking care of everyone. So she should be able to deal with it herself. She was in all of these thoughts of shame and blame and, all of these things going on with her. And finally, I had to share with her, for many years, you were the blessing by showing up for others and giving to them. And they got to receive and they got to experience the gift of receiving the blessing. I said, but now is your turn because you gave out energy in that direction so much. Now there's an imbalance within you. To correct that balance, you actually have to allow yourself to be the other side of the equation. And now you need to step into the receptive mode and allowing others to experience the gift of giving to you. I said, just like when we give, our heart expands, we feel really good, right? And it's a blessing to the person we're sharing and that we're giving to. And it feels really good to us. I said, well, other people need to feel that too. They get to have that experience of having their hearts expand. They get to have the experience of being your blessing. You get to share that and you get to be the blessing for others by them being a blessing for you. And I said, and so many, right? We don't see that or understand that that is the balance of life. And that's why we have to be willing to receive. Because if we're not, ultimately, we are doing harm to ourselves and to others. We're not allowing others to step into their fullness and their full capacity as a human, empathetic, spiritual being, right? And allowing them to share that gift as well and to recognize how they can be a blessing, just a small thing. And she started crying and she thanked me. She said, I never saw it like that. I never thought of it as being like that. Like, that's how I can bless others by allowing them to help me. And I said, exactly. You feel good when people allow you to help them. They feel good too. They want to feel good. They want to feel like they're helping you. They want to feel like they're a part of this journey and they're supporting you and showing you their love. And she's like, wow, I didn't realize I was stopping people from loving me. I was stopping people from loving me. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So, yeah, sorry. I know we got into some other things here, but it
No,
just
this is
again goes with the
perfect.
worthiness and yeah, sharing and being the blessing and how as caregivers, also we think we shouldn't be paid for our gifts, right? Also as spiritual people, like, oh, you should just give this away, right?
Yeah.
Why are you charging for that? You should give for
Yeah.
that. If it's a sound healing, why are you charging for that? That's not right. And I'm like, well, because I've still got bills to pay.
That part.
That's
Yeah.
why. Okay. Yeah.
That
And
part.
because
Yeah.
it's an energetic exchange. I'm
Yes.
giving to you. And so you're sharing your monetary with me so then I can continue to pour into you. Because if you are helping me and I'm helping you, that is how we can continue to have this symbiotic relationship. Otherwise, if people are just giving out their spiritual gifts for free, again, they're not feeding themselves and it depletes the person that they're sharing with, right? Because they're receiving, but now they're not part of the energetic exchange, the other balance of giving back. And so it's allowing others to, again, to show up in that way, to share and to serve and to be a blessing back to the spiritual community, and to those who are sharing in their spiritual gifts. So
Thank
I
if
you.
love that.
anyone, yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that message. It hit home.
I could tell. I could tell.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about how we can use energy tools like tapping to regulate and reset the inner money thermostat. I loved what you were saying about the personal money frequency. I was listening, very intently, and I was thinking, what is mine? And you said a word that was really interesting that I feel often. When I think about $10 million, I get these thoughts of greed or it's unrealistic,
Yeah.
but certainly below that. So I'm about 200,000 now, and but I spend a lot, all of it,
Mm.
all of it, and I
Mm.
call it, well, I'm getting debt free. I started on I started about 3 years ago. My debt was about 1 million. Now it's about 700,000. And I feel good about that. But I also hear what you're saying about this spending. And just as quick as I can increase that, it's like I get an opportunity. Here's an opportunity to spend it and spend
Mm-hmm.
it all. And
Mm-hmm.
so you've given me some words to, that I can tap on myself to not do that. I get to keep some of it. I get to keep it. I get to invest it. I get to have fun with it and play with it. Because there's something about my thinking still that will be like, yeah, I could get it, but I'm gonna give it away as soon as and it's like a volleyball, boom, 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 boom,
Yes.
up until now. So I
Yes.
really appreciate what you're saying because and even when you were talking, Lauren, about your grandfather, that was powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
because whatever is happening with our parents usually happens with us. It's just beliefs that are passed down, good, bad, or ugly. And you said something like, he wasn't going to give it to us because he
Mm-hmm.
worked for it, meaning I'm not passing it to the next generation. But what is generational wealth? Being able to pass our wealth to the next generation. But if we have in our subconscious a belief system that says, oh no, that is not going to happen, it doesn't. It just doesn't. So these are some powerful realizations, and I really believe I want to do a meditation that so I can see what my next incremental level is going to be, so that 10 million feels like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer associating that with being greedy, but being what I desire, without any judgment, without, any of that. And so again, when we think about the personal money frequency, it's the amount that feels like a divine yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm.
expansive. It's
Mm-hmm.
not excessive. It just feels good. And so let's talk a little bit about emotional regulation. Lauren is the queen of emotional regulation.
Ooh.
Because when we sit with these feelings long enough, our
Mm.
nervous system starts to learn that it's safe to have more. It's safe to be more. It's safe to
Mm-hmm.
be seen. It's safe to
Mm-hmm.
receive.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not about chasing the numbers, it's about expanding your capacity to hold abundance.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
And for me, a lot of it comes from just fear. Um, like even if I am okay with receiving, let's say $200,000 a year, it's the fear around maintaining it
Mm.
and maintaining that vibration, right?
Mm.
And we literally have to do that. We have to maintain our vibration, work on being consistent, just like breathing, just like feeding ourselves, just like getting dressed every morning. It has to be in consistency and energy and thought and belief and all of that. And it's not something that was necessarily programmed into us. It might be a familial thing, a cultural thing, whatever it is, but that's the biggest thing. It's just shifting those beliefs and maintaining that so that everything around you is maintained and continues to grow and thrive.
Absolutely. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
a really good point. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that, Shante?
I understand, yes, totally. And I agree that, yeah, if we want to have those shifts, then it's not a one and done. It is something that you are going to fall out of it. It's kind of like exercising, or any pattern that you want to implement, or a new system, or a new activity or tasking, or a new whatever you want to implement into your life. It's something that You can't do just once and then it's over. It has to be done, like Lauren said, on a consistent basis. And that consistency can look different, and it will look different for everyone. And it will look different depending on how your day is going. You might be able to sit in the energy, 3 times, on one day. And maybe another day you didn't do it at all. You got too busy, you got too caught up, you got too whatever, you got too out of your own headspace. And that's okay, right? Not coming down, not shaming yourself for any of those moments when you're not there in a specific frequency, and recognizing that's just you being human, responding in a human way to all of the things, and making that okay. Because then when you can make that okay, and you okay right now in that, you're automatically shifting back into that frequency. And it allows you to start seeing and feeling into that number with more ease and flow, because you're also not fighting the times that you're not there. You're allowing yourself to just be where you're at, where you're at. And I wanted to add that if anyone feels like a resistance or a disconnection from the frequency, it doesn't mean that you're blocked. It just means that your energy pattern hasn't caught up to it yet. Like Lauren was saying, it's our capacity to hold it, our capacity to even reach it in the first place. And so that's what we'll be helping you do today. I know that Dr. Gigi has an amazing sequence that she's going to lead us through so that we can, in fact, do that. We can connect to the frequency, and it'll allow you to start to be more receptive and to be a more clear receptacle for that divine guidance and for that healing, loving energy of the universe and of God to come in to bless you. And when you allow that in, all of the blessings, they're already there. You just have to say, okay, yeah, I'm here. Have your hands open and be like, I'm here. I'll receive them. Come on, give them to me. I said it all the time.
Yes, please.
Right? I say all the time, like, universe, I dare you to show me how good it could get.
Oh, I love
dare
that.
you to
I
show
love
me
that.
how awesome you are. I dare you to bless me more.
Yes.
Yes.
And to do it with that energy, that joyous, happy, light energy.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Yes.
not graspy, because it really is. If you think of God as like your parent, you don't go to God like, oh, you're just like, oh, I really want this, parent. I really want this. I really want, I'm good for it. I deserve it.
I
Right?
love
Like you
that.
went with a kid at Christmas, right? If you really wanted something, Mom, Dad, I really want this, and I'll do all the chores and but you don't even have to, do all of the things. You don't have to make any allowances or, make any deals with God, because it's already there already. It's just
Yes.
you being willing to pick it up and run with it, right? And so, yeah, that's what we're excited to have a chance to pick up and run with the blessings.
One
I
of my
love that.
prayers is more of this, please. Anytime
Yes.
I'm in an energy or frequency or a moment, um, or a feeling of just pure like joy
Mm.
and safety and happiness and worthiness, I go, more of this, please. That's always my prayer or my
I like that
request.
a lot.
I like
That's
that one too.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
thank you.
Yes.
That
Ooh.
that brings up two excerpts from my book Boundary Badass that I want to share. And the first is when you say yes out of guilt or obligation. And these are for all the empaths, all the helpers, all the healers. When you say yes because you think you have to, you tell the universe you don't trust it to provide. And I think that's a very powerful
Hmm.
reflection to just ingest. The
Mhm.
second one is this, setting financial boundaries, like charging for your worth, charging for your sound bowls, charging for your readings, charging for who you are. It trains your energy to expect reciprocity. And the world is about it's about giving and receiving, much like you were talking earlier, Shante. For a lot of us helpers, we want to give, but receiving not so much. It's hard to
Hmm.
receive. It's really hard to receive, but it's part of reciprocity. we're giving, we love to give, it lights me up to give. There were times in my 30s and my 20s, I was really flush with money, and I have $100 bills, and I would hand them to people on the street. And my girls were watching, and it's surprising me now that they even talk about it. But I tell you, it would light me up to see them look at, and they're like, is this a, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, they would do whatever they would do with it. But I felt like, man, this person just won the lottery. And it would just, I'd feel it all in my shoulders. And, that was my dopamine. I felt really good. And what I'm going to be doing from now on is I'm going to be giving out my book, Boundary Badass, for free, because I want more and more people to read about it, especially healers, creatives, and coaches. And all you have to do is click on the link. It's free. You can join our Boundary Badass community so we can learn and grow together. But I think that's important. It's about reciprocity, giving out and taking in. It's that circle of life, that life
Mhm.
cycle.
It's not greed, it's grounded generosity, the kind that starts with being full.
Mm.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and that's also like when you have a full cup, it allows you
Yes.
to give more. And
Yes.
we forget that. A lot of
Yes.
us just keep pouring, pouring, pouring without being poured into. And then we're tapped out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Nothing left for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And so that's a great segue to our energy attunement process. So I'm going to do some tapping followed by Lauren's empowerment script. So it's a great 1-2 punch to improve, to increase your energy, and it's going to be about this topic of personal money frequency. So just, are you guys ready?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Let's
I'm
do
reading all
it.
morning. Like
Yes.
I'm so
But
excited.
first, but first, how comfortable, well, never mind. I won't do that part. But so just do what I do and say what I say. Round one is about releasing the old money ceiling. Karate chop point. Even though I've been afraid of having too much,
Even though I've been afraid of having too much,
even though parts of me still feel guilty receiving more,
even though parts of me still feel guilty for receiving more,
even though my nervous system thinks it's safe not to expand,
even though my nervous system thinks it's safe not to expand,
I choose to honor all of those parts of me.
I choose to honor all those parts of me.
Eyebrow point. I've been afraid of more.
I've been afraid of more.
Side of eye. What if I lose it?
What if I lose it?
What if I make stupid decisions?
What if I make stupid decisions?
Under eye. What if they judge me?
What if they judge me?
What if I lose all my friends and family?
What if I lose all my friends and family?
What if they think I'm too much?
What if they think I'm too much?
Under nose. I release this fear of expansion.
I release this fear of expansion.
Under mouth. I am safe to grow.
I am safe to grow.
Collarbone. It's okay to receive.
It's okay to receive.
It's good for me to expand.
It's good for me to expand.
It's safe to expand.
It is safe to expand.
3 inches below the armpit. I let go of guilt.
I let go of guilt.
Top of head. I'm ready to align with abundance and financial wealth.
I'm ready to align with abundance and financial wealth.
Excellent. Release the tapping. We're going to take an inhale through the nose and we're going to exhale with a hum. Taking a deep breath and humming are great ways to calm the nervous system. And now we're going to start round two by expanding into a new money frequency. Karate chop point. Even though I'm new to this vibration,
Even though I'm new to this vibration.
Even though I've never felt this free with money before.
Even though I've never felt this free with money before.
Even though part of me still doubts it.
Even though part of me still doubts it.
I am open to ease, joy, and flow.
I am open to ease, joy, and flow.
Eyebrow point. I am safe with more.
I am safe with more.
Side of eye. My energy is expanding.
My energy is expanding.
Under eye. I love this feeling of flow.
I love this feeling of flow.
Under nose. I allow money to support me.
I allow money to support me.
I allow money to love me.
I allow money to love me.
Under mouth. I feel prosperous now.
I feel prosperous now.
Collarbone. I trust my worth.
I trust my worth.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
3 inches below the armpit. I magnetize abundance and financial wealth easily.
I magnetize abundance and financial wealth easily.
It's easy peasy.
It's easy peasy.
Top of head. My frequency is rising with love.
My frequency is rising with love.
Excellent. Release the tapping. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose, visualizing white, peaceful light, allowing that white, peaceful light to circulate through every cell of your beautiful body, and exhaling with an audible sigh through your mouth, everything that is not peace and love. Oh. Excellent. Now just keep your eyes closed, and lovely Lauren is going to give us an empowerment script that aligns with this tapping.
This is our time to empower ourselves to expand our capacity to receive. Take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, imagine releasing every story that ever told you you had to earn your worth. You are already worthy. You are already abundant. And today, your energy remembers that truth. Feel into your heart, that space where generosity and gratitude meet. See it expanding, glowing brighter with every inhale. This is your personal money frequency, not a number, but a vibration of ease, trust, and divine support. We're going to repeat this softly to ourselves. I am safe to receive.
I'm safe to receive.
I am open to flow.
I am open to flow.
I am worthy of wealth that nourishes me
Nourishes me.
and those I love.
And those I love.
Let that affirmation ripple through your body, from your crown to your toes, calming your nervous system, anchoring that belief that money is a mirror of your self-care, not your stress. And as you step back into your day, carry this energy with you, light, grounded, and ready to receive with courage, worthiness, and certainty. And so it is, and so it flows, and so you shine.
Wow. Wow. I love that. Thank you, Lauren.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
And that's where our personal money frequency comes in. It's where safety and abundance meet.
Mhm.
When we feel calm, when we feel worthy, it just happens. And sometimes people need some help to get to that level of courage and worthiness. And so now I'd like to ask Shante, what kind of self-care rituals might be available to help keep our energy open?
Sure. One of the ones that I like the most and the best is actually a very simple chant of Om, chanting the Om frequency. The Om frequency is the one that ties us to the creative aspects of the universe. How they say, there's a Big Bang theory. In creationism, there was the word and the word was God. Well, the sound and the word are the same thing. It's the Om vibration. So when you tune in with Om, you're tuning in with God. So if ever you're in a state of anxiety or flux or stress or anything that you're going on in your mind, just mentally chant Om and you will automatically start to feel better. And if you're chanting Om and you just pause for a moment and just think right here and even just have the words Om and just read them on your mind, Om, and just do it with intention without stress. Stopping you from doing it or believing that it would work. And that's an automatic thing that can start to tune you back in and allow you to proceed with some clarity and some peace. And that is what I do inside Wellness 360 RX. It's a space where we recalibrate your energy patterns emotionally, physically, spiritually, and we actually start to live in higher frequencies of sufficiency and receiving. And I work with healthcare workers, caregivers, and I also work with lay persons as well. It's just healthcare workers and caregivers tend to be the people who are drawn most to me in my work.
That's your jam, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. So Shante, tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you and share any offers that you might have with them.
Sure. Well, right now I am on YouTube. You can find me at Graceful Living with Shante. I think there's a number 16 after my name. For some reason, they did that, not me. I'm also on Facebook, Shante Kumar. You can also find Graceful Living Coaching Services on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. If you look up Shante Kumar in Google, you will find me. Like, it's hard not to find me. I show up. And I'm on Instagram. I'm starting TikTok as well.
Yes.
Grace Living with Shante on TikTok. And so, matter of fact, I'm going to start doing some lives on with them. I've gone in with a content creator group, so I'll see how that's going to look, and I'll keep you guys posted on that. And my current offerings are I have a one-on-one and I have a group program, and they're very much the same. It's just the difference is if someone wants to work with me one-on-one versus being in a group container. Um, and it would be Wellness 360 RX, and it would be not working, but having fun, allowing yourself to see just how much you can enjoy and glean from life in a way that feels really good. Lots of times we think personal development and growth has to be hard and sticky and rough, and it may not always be the the most fun. Well, no, actually, I do think it is the most fun. When you find thoughts and you start recognizing things happening, it is fun. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I had that thought. Whoa, where'd that come from? Right. And I love being able to be in a space where I can start to see these things and make intentional moves towards the goals that I have for myself and my family. And I love being in a place where I can help others do that as well. So that's what I can help you to do if you're interested.
Thank you. Thank you. And when we post this in social media, we'll have links for you to contact Shante directly. Lovely Lauren, how can folks dive deep with you?
Thank you, Gigi. I can be found at behaviorcollective.net. It's my new website. And I have offerings of tarot and oracle readings for those of you who are open to that. I dive in deep and offer some clarity and support in whatever it is that you're experiencing currently in your life. I also am a sound healer. I offer sound healing sessions for individuals or groups. Please, please, please regulate your nervous system with a little sound. And I also offer empowerment coaching. So it's an opportunity for me to connect one on one with individuals who have fears and doubts around their ability to grow and expand and would like some support and empowerment with that. So please reach out. We all deserve support. So you can find me at behaviorcollective.net, and there's a contact space on there for you to reach out to me directly. And last but not least, Dr. Gigi, how can everyone get in touch with you?
Well, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. First, you can reach me on all the major or most of the major platforms that Tapping with Dr. Gigi. I'm offering my Boundary Badass book, the fourth edition, for free. You get to join our community. We get to talk about, ways that we can create and maintain boundaries from a health, wealth, and relationship perspective. And so, that's coming on board. And we have our landing page specials. So healers, creatives, coaches, you can get your landing page done for as low as $197, and it can be up as quickly as a week. And so we get out of that whole perfectionistic mindset and get your gifts and talents on the web so people can really access them. And last but not least, we're talking about our personal money frequency. And so I have a 28-day program that's available right now that will help you rewrite your money story. And so every day for 28 days, you're going to get an email. We're going to do some tapping. You're going to have a somatic journal, a somatic practice, a journal practice, a journal prompt. And within 28 days, your wealth will improve. And I guarantee it. And so the links for all of these wonderful offers are down below. We hope that you're able to consume them. And we really want to thank Shante for this wonderful conversation. And remember, your personal money frequency isn't a number to chase. It's a vibration to embody. Very, very different. And each time you choose rest over rushing, truth over people pleasing, and faith over fear, you raise your frequency. You're choosing you. And you are safe to receive. You are worthy. And you're more than enough exactly as you are. Any parting comments, Shante?
No, not really. Just being aware and remembering that money is here to support you, and it is truly a reflection of your willingness to receive the good in life. And so just ask yourself, am I willing to receive the good? Am I willing to receive the good? Sometimes just being honest about that, we're really willing to receive the bad and all the bad things and all that, we take that in really easily and quickly, all the bad news and etc. So ask yourself, am I willing to receive the good, and am I willing to sit in it, to receive and sit in that good and hold that space for myself? Yeah.
Love that. Thank you, Shante. Lovely Lauren, any parting words?
Well, this conversation just empowered me to say this to myself and to everyone who may tune in. We have to raise the vibration within ourselves so that we raise the vibration collectively, now more than ever. So that means not only giving, but receiving, not only supporting, but being supported, and not only giving joy to others, but receiving it. So let's raise this vibration. We can't live in a state of fear, of division, of chaos, of lack, any of that. We have to raise our vibration. So I'm grateful for this platform. I'm grateful to you, Miss Shante. Thank you, Dr. Gigi. Sending love and light to everyone.
Thank you
Yes.
both too. Yes, for allowing me to be here in your space and to share this with you and all of your viewers and your listeners. It's truly, truly a blessing to be around such enlightening and inspirational women who are out there not just talking the talk, but walking the walk and helping others to do the same. So, and I love what you said, Lauren, about, yeah, rising tide raises all boats, right? And that's
Yes.
what we're here to do. And we see the alternative of what when we don't live from this, because we're living it and we're seeing it right now, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like it's kind of a big wake-up call for the world, like, hey guys,
Mhm.
obviously it doesn't work that way. Because
Right.
if it did, none of this would be happening. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I love that. I love what you just said, Shante. The rising tide floats all boats. And this is our opportunity uh, to raise our frequency, raise the tide, raise, everything in our lives. For those listening live, we want to thank you. For those listening on replay, we thank you. And please share these messages with people that you think it's going to resonate with, maybe even people you don't think it's going to resonate with. It's just going to spread this message. And the more we do it, the more we're going to elevate ourselves individually, but also the collective. And that's important too. So thank you both. Be well.
Thank you.
I look
Yes.
forward to seeing you next time.
Yes. Bye for now.
Bye now.
Bye.